consecrated vessels to not release oil but pour out oil. We smell the fragrance of your anointing in this place. Thank you for real worshipers, sanctified worshipers, set aside worshipers. Thank you for this moment that you have ordained. Be completely glorified in it. Magnify your majestic power. Rule this hour. Fill us, Lord, to all you'll just pour out of us. Demons are slain. That they don't get to run, but they get expelled, cast out. Give us the territory, Lord. Cause us a Moses moment where you take defiled ground and consecrate it and enter in, that we have to even take off our shoes. For everywhere we stand becomes holy. Give us that kind of reverence, God, that we realize we come in one way but leave another way, God. Give us that kind of holiness with reverence that our mind of thinking that we'll be afraid to think, God, because we understand that the thickness of your Shekinah glory fills this room, fills this house. Thank you, Lord, that sinners will be saved, backsliders will be restored, and the lost will be found, and the sick will be healed. Thank you, Lord, for doors that shut will be open. Thank you for supernatural turnaround. Thank you, Lord, for God kind of breakthrough. Thank you for your divine favor. Thank you, Lord, that victory comes in your name today. And we shout unto the glory of you, for you alone reign with majestic power. Amen. Touch somebody all around you and tell them, my God reigns. He reigns. He reigns. Why are you thanking God for God? Thank God for these mighty young vessels that have sanctified this pulpit. Oh, come on, let's give glory unto God. When God does a thing, he does it without our help. And thank you, guys. I can see and witness that God is using you guys to go higher. Amen. I am honored. I'm honored. You guys are having fun again. Shout. Thank you, God, for being held in your brother. Wow, bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Wow. Wow. Bless you. I feel like seasoned veterans. Seasoned veterans. He just took us in the presence of God. Wow. That's a love. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. That's just good to see you, sir. In the midst of everything, God is getting the glory out of it. Yes, He is. He's getting the glory out of it. Bless you. It's good to see you, sir. Hey, brother, how you doing? Bless you. Good to see you. He's getting the glory out of it.
Yes, He is. Yes, He is.
Can't no one do this but God.
Nobody.
Yeah, bless you. I said, can't nobody do this but God. Bless you. When God decides it's your time.
Yes, sir.
Time has to declare to make it happen. I won't even mess with that. Luke chapter 11. Luke chapter 11.
Oh, my Lord.
Beginning in verse 14, the Voice translation. The Voice translation, if you will allow your spirit and yet your mind to be subject to the Spirit of God, that you won't wrestle with what is being said, that you will trust that God is saying it. I assure you that God will bring more than deliverance into your life today. Luke chapter 11, verse 14, the Voice translation says this. Picture this. Jesus is exorcising a demon that has long kept a man from speaking. I'm still dealing with part 2, silent no more. It's time to break the silence. And God is going to prove himself to us in this season that our prayer wasn't in vain. Our fasting wasn't in vain. And demons going to know it too, because they're already trembling. For God is bringing victory back to his people as he expelled them from the territory. Y'all are getting that. See, when you can shout, because if he's expelling demonic activity from territory, that means he's expelling it from your house. God ain't gonna clean up a city and don't clean up your house and you don't put all that sacrifice in. Let's read. The demon is expelled. The man starts talking and the people are amazed. When the demon is expelled, the man gets his voice back. And people are amazed about something they was excited to believe, but wasn't excited to know they can receive what they believe. I've discovered in this season you can believe without receiving. How many believe God? How many believe that God exists? How many believe God can do anything but fail? How many believe God is a God beyond miracles? How many received all of that? So you can believe it and don't receive it. Because faith comes by hearing, and hearing comes by the word of God. And you cannot receive what you don't touch to agree. You can say a thing and not receive a thing because you didn't agree with what it is you were saying. Here we go. Now watch, I want to tell you, for many of you that struggles with the thought that when you put your prayer and your fasting and your sacrifice and your commitment in, let me show you what always happens when deliverance takes place. So we need you to mature in this season going forward. But I'm trying to do the best I can, live the best I can. I can't understand the better I try to live, the worse things get. It's supposed to happen.
That's good, man of God. That's good. That's good.
You didn't think you were going to stir up the beehive and bees weren't going to come out, did you? You thought you was just going to smack the hornet nest and hornets weren't going to come out. They have stingers for a reason. And they sting with the one who touched them. So touch somebody and say, I'm glad I took my shot. Because God gonna take the sting out of the devil in this season for what it is. They used to call me have side effects. I need somebody to shot before. See, if they sting you and you ain't allergic to them, then that means it won't cause no reaction for the sting. They're gonna take the sting out of what used to kill you. My God, do it, God, do it. Okay, here we go. The man started talking and the people are amazed. But watch verse 15. But then, somebody say, but then, controversy erupts. There will always be controversy when deliverance takes place. You would think everybody would be excited about the deliverance that took place in your life. You would think everybody would be excited that God changed your life. But controversy always follows deliverance. Everybody ain't going to be happy that you changed, because that means that you broke some chains too that they had over you. Some people, do you know why he can cast out demons? Now, Jesus don't cast out demons here. And then there were some people, not all people, but some people in the crowd said, do you know why he can cast out demons? It's because he's in league with the demon prince Beelzebub, which means Beelzebub, Lord of Flies, but it also means rulers of demons, but it also means the demon that's king over hell. So they calling Jesus ruler over demons or king of hell in league with rulers. And they're saying that Jesus is casting out demons because he's in league with demons. Isn't it interesting that you would think that some intelligent people would not have the common courtesy of sense to realize if you cast out a demon out of somebody, it ought to make worse demons come in. But to cast out a demon in a person's life have changed, then you ought to give glory to God, because the same side effects of control don't have dominion and authority over individuals. Verse 16 says other people. Now, verse A clause of 16 says some people. Verse 16 B clause says other people want to see more. Because what they're seeing is not enough for them to receive. It's just enough for them to begin to believe. So they challenge Jesus to give them another miraculous sign. Jesus knows what they're thinking. Watch what Jesus says. People, be logical. If a kingdom is divided against itself, it will collapse. If a ruling family is divided against itself, it will fall apart. Verse 18 says, so if Satan's kingdom is divided against itself, won't his whole enterprise collapse? Does it make any sense to say, I am casting out demons by Beelzebub? Besides, if you are Satan, it takes satanic power to cast out Satan. By whose power do your own exorcise or exorcist works? If you condemn me for exorcism, you'll have to condemn them. But if I, by the power of God, cast out demonic spirits, then face this fact: the kingdom of God is here. Just as I've been saying. I need somebody to shout, brother. Touch somebody and shout, the kingdom of God is here. And God is changing order in the earth and in this season, because he's using the people of God through the authority and anointing to anoint situations, to raise up sons and daughters that will flip over what the enemy's been doing and say, enough is enough, devil. We are not here to negotiate. We are not here to compromise. We are here to take over. We're not asking you for permission to live right. We're not asking you for permission to be wealthy. We're not asking you for permission to be well and be healed. We are now taking the authority that is invested in us, and we say, by the name of Jesus, devil, you got to go. Somebody holler back if you hear me. He says verse 20, verse 20, but if by the power of God cast out demonic spirit, then face this fact: the kingdom of God is here, just as I've been saying. When a man of power, with his full array of weapons, guards his own palace, everything inside is secure. But when a new man, who is stronger and better, armed attacks the palace, the old ruler will be overcome. His weapons and trusted defense will be removed, and his treasure will be plundered, bankrupt. Can you see that I'm asking you to choose whose side you're on? Working with me or fighting against me? The narrative says these people think they are experts on demonic spirits, but Jesus instructs them in how these things actually work. When a demonic spirit is expelled from someone, he wanders through waterless wastelands seeking rest, but there is no rest for him anywhere. So he says, I'm going back to my old house. Somebody say, back to the old house. He returns and finds the old house. Somebody say, old house has been swept clean, fixed up again. So he goes and finds 7 other spirits, even worse than he is. And they make themselves at home in the man's life, so that he was worse off now than he was before. Verse 24 and 25 says, when the demonic spirit is expelled, he wanders through waterless wastelands seeking rest. But there is no more rest for him anywhere. For he says, I'm going back to my old house. Now verse 25 says he goes from the old house, but he comes back again and he finds the old house, the demonic or the unclean spirit. He comes back the second time and he realized that the house is now swept clean and fixed up again. Verse 26 says then he turns and realizes he can't come back in the old house, but he needs some help. And he understands the power and the authority that he used to be able to take over the old person. He needs some now help that's stronger than the old person, but he needs some help that can take over the new person. So he finds 7 other demons worse than what he was. Touch somebody and tell them, y'all ain't gonna help me. Don't let the devil move back into your house or your life. Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it. I'm trying to know. You need to find somebody else and say, don't let the devil move back in your house or your life. I need somebody to shout to the glory of God. Say, don't let him do it. 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 You don't evict that devil. Don't let that devil back in your life. You don't overcome that situation. Don't let that situation come back in your life. You don't move from them circumstances. Don't let that circumstance come back no more. God just delivered you, and the enemy needs to know when you're vulnerable again, because he understands when God delivered you, he cannot come back while you're still strong. But he's going from place to place, seeking the opportunity to find out when you're tempted by his presence again. Turn to somebody and say, don't let that devil back in your life. I need somebody to shout if you got it. Tell somebody, change the doorpad and the keys to your life, to your house, to how you drive, how you live, your coming and going. Change your whole routine. Let the devil know if you're going to talk to me, you're going to talk different. If you're going to approach me, you're going to approach me different. If you're going to look at me, devil, you better understand I can't stop you by the authority of God. Somebody let me shout in this place. Tell somebody and tell them my house is not a house of compromise. My life is not a life of compromise. You can't negotiate over my deliverance. You can't negotiate over my healing. You can't negotiate over the favor of my life. You can't negotiate of the anointing in my life. You can't negotiate that if I'm saved. You can't negotiate if God delivered me or not. Because I testify for the God I serve. He does great things. I'm not what I was, and I'm becoming something great. I need somebody to hold back in this place. I am that I am by the grace of God. When God does a thing, he don't halfway do it. If God delivered you, he didn't fix you up. If God delivered you, he renewed you. If God healed you, he didn't halfway heal you. If God healed you, you were healed. If God gave you the job, it's a job from God. Don't compromise on the job. If God gave you the job, if God gave you the business, he don't want your business back. He wants your life back. Somebody. I don't hear nobody. Y'all got to sit down. You know I ain't got that kind of time. You ought to find 2 or 3 people in this house and remind them, I've been through some up and down, but one thing I stand on, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. For unto me it is power unto salvation, and everyone that believeth. And if I'm touching you right now, you're healed in his name, delivered in his name, saved in his name, blessed in his name, overcome in his name. Don't let the devil talk you out of it. Don't let him turn you around. Don't fly with the devil. Don't ride with the devil. Don't hook up with the devil. You family? Who gonna heal that sick loved one? If you lost your job, who gonna give you another? If God gave you the business and it ain't going good, who gonna make it go good? Be seated, be seated, be seated. Somebody and tell them I am what I am by the glory and the grace of God. Be seated, I'm almost finished. Go ahead. Let me finish. Somebody got their voice back. Somebody going through but still understand that don't stop me from praising God. Somebody say going through qualifies me to praise Him when I'm going through my work. The songwriter said I got problems, but problems don't help me. That means that it don't mean you don't have no problem, but don't let your problems help you. It don't mean you ain't sick, but don't let your sickness stop you from praising Him, because God praises and honors the praise of His people. Be seated, be seated, be seated. Please be seated. Ooh, some of y'all shaking the devil right back out your life and thought he would creep back in. That's right, the devil thought he had you again, but today he got to get away, not you. The devil, hey, devil, you got to go. I just shot the light on you. Devil, you almost made me quit. You almost made me give up. You almost made me go back out there. You almost made me throw in the towel. Hey, devil, you got to move out of my You got to move out of my mind. You got to move out of my family. You got to remove out my child. You got to get up out of my business. You got to get up out of my business. Hey! Struggles are not my struggle. So what you trying to get me to get involved in is not what God ordained. Be seated. Be seated, please. What is this happening? The reason the enemy is attacking you on the all-time high, he smelled God on you. And you talking about when I wasn't hitting on nothing, the devil didn't mess with me, he didn't smell God on me. Because the reality is, according to the text, the devil don't want a dirty house, he want a clean one. And that's why every time your life get messed up again, he don't bother you because he's gonna help you mess it up. But when your house and your life get cleaned up again, that's why he shows back up. He wants something clean even though he's dirty. He don't want to be around something that's nasty. He's attracted to your clean spirit. He's attracted to your sanctified spirit. He's attracted to your holy spirit. All right, let me give you 3 things and we out of here. 3 things. I won't have time. Since I won't have time, I won't do injustice to try to deal with 14 all the way to 24 or 23. So if you will save me time, just let me deal with 24 through 26. If not, we won't accomplish our purpose. The only thing I would highlight in the first half of this message, Silent No More, casting out darkness brings more light in your life. It exposed more God to you. And that's why the enemy loves keeping you in dark places of your life. But see, now you have to hold to the faith to believe God works better in your life in darkness. Even God himself didn't create light for himself when light's inside of him. He creates 6 days with no light. Because you don't need outside light when you got inside glory. Did I just say? And see, you got the glory of God, so you don't need to trust something natural to give you something glorious. So the reality to the text says this, it suggests this, that Jesus, bless you, he's talking about expelling demonic spirits and activity that's going on. Now, when he does this, the controversy erupts simply because the manifestation takes place. See, the enemy shows up not with legions of help when he understands that the people that's crying on God is defeated. But he always shows up with legions when he realizes the people of God is not helpless. Because even though they've been wounded and attacked, they still believe God. And the reality is God is bringing them into a season now they can receive what they believe. So you have to understand, to expel something means to expose what it is that has drawn you. Now you have to understand, for Jesus to do exorcism or to expel legions of demons, it was an indication that he didn't come just to deliver. He comes to cast out. And we keep getting delivered, but we ain't expelled nothing. And you can't expel what you still want to bind. So quit trying to bind demons and devils and expel them. It's the difference in a 3-day suspension and get kicked out for the rest of the year. Did I just? So watch this. Watch this. When he expelled this demon, the man with no voice speaks again. He can only speak if someone has an authority to expel what it is that took his voice. That's why when you're going through, many of you that have allowed the enemy to cause you to be now dysfunctional in your life, the first thing the enemy wants to do is keep you away from strong anointed people. Saints. He wants you to turn on the strong saints because he understands those that walk with God bring liberty to those that walk away from God. You can't be attracted to people that's attracted to what it is you struggle with.
Come on!
You can't keep depending on people that still got dependency of something that is you need to be free from. You can't keep allowing people to minister to you what it is they can't be ministered to.
God is
Here's the key. He says, a house that is divided against itself cannot what? Stand. It simply what? Falls. Now, the best analogy that I can give you, a metaphor that I can give you is an analogy I've used before, and it deals with simply understanding the queen bee, the worker bee, and the drone bee. Now, you have to understand the great influence of the queen bee. But you have to understand her importance is predicated and dependent upon the worker bee and the drone bee. The only job that the drone bee has, which is the male bees, is to mate with the queen and try to make not petroleum jelly, but royal honey. And see, many of you are not fruitful because you ended up with some drones that can't produce nothing but petroleum. You need to hook up with some drones that can make some royal honey.
royal honey.
Trust me, I'm in the tent.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Watch this. But the worker bees are the female bees.
Wow.
Now watch how important these female worker bees are. They go out and get nectar or pollen on flowers or trees or whatever and bring it back to the hive. Which Jesus in this text is talking about a demonic activity called colonies or colony, which is the hive. Because if colonization doesn't take place, reproduction don't manifest. So everything inside is not enough. Some things you got to go in outside and bring it back to help bring something that will cause the hive not to fall apart. I don't hear nobody out there. Is this too much? Let me see what you have this. That ain't enough. We work this out. Let me ask you one more time. Do you want to hear it? Yeah! So watch now these worker bees. The worker bees protects the queen, not the drone.
Talk about it.
Watch this. The worker bees, which are the females, clean the queen bee, not the drone. The worker bee clean the hive, not the drone, the man. The worker bees does more than any other bee. But it never forms its own legion.
That's right.
Because it's totally committed to God. Because they realize if the queen quit producing honey and reproducing eggs, that the hive will fall apart. Some of you are killing the same thing that's causing your hive to stay together. That's too much, isn't it? Now y'all ask for me. This is the season that God wants to bring more reproduction in your life. But you got to learn to network with those that God has put you in place with. That you don't cause the hive to be infected. Because once the hive is infected, it's because the queen have gotten caught off guard. Some of you women, the reason your house is messed up because you were the one that was supposed to be producing what was called reproduction in your house, and you caused distraction and division in your house because you got messed up with the worker bees that was trying to clean your dirty center. Because if the queen bee dies, the hive falls apart. And watch this. All the worker bees die.
Amen.
And then all the drones drift to find another queen.
There you go.
Y'all ain't ready for that. I'm going to help you. When are we supposed to be doing the marriage thing? The 29th of what month? This month? Marriage ministry, get ready for the word from God of your life for your house. Because we're about to bring your illustrious queen son back in the house. I need every woman that caught what I just said. You better jump up. And we're going to help you to make some royal honey and quit making and putting out that old secondary jelly. Oh, y'all scaring me now. If I just have the man in here, can I please see you? Will you please stand up? Because a man don't want about to buzz. But he there to see the hunt. No, sit down. I don't think the marriage ministry ready. Let me see if the marriage ministry ready for June. Let me see if you want this. Because we'll be here with you at the end of June. So there'll be a second service on that day. Let me ask you one more time. Because when I asked the single minister, they went crazy when I got my deal. When I asked the men, they went crazy. When women ministry, they went crazy. Now let me ask the marriage ministry, do you want it or not? The single ministry, women ministry, men don't get upset because they're the only one that had met with them. And God have challenged me that if you're really going to help ministry or church be built back on the rock of Christ, you have to do it on the family. What was instituted by God. Okay, y'all sit down. I'm out of there because that was all y'all wanted right now. Now I know why the drone want to separate. Let's get back. Three things. Let's get back to this. These people think they are expert on demonic spirits, but Jesus instructed them. So for those that say, what do they got to do with the text? It has everything to do with something divine. And the problem with those that are empowered, with those that have influence, with those that are seeking God, you are self-seeking. You're not seeking them for the kingdom. You're seeking them out of your own selfish will. I dealt with them on Wednesday with what is called narcissism. Narcissism. And when I deal with this, it's a narcissist that are so absorbed by their own self. Because they are self-seekers, not God-seekers. Never think because you're using the word of God to seek out God's will, you're seeking it out for God. Because many of you that seeking God, you're seeking it only for you. It's not to help nobody else. And that's why a lot of single people couldn't get with what I did with the marriage people. Because you really don't care if they stay married or not. You divorced, you separated, you angry at your. So you know I ain't got time for that. Get to the word. See, you ain't never talking about nobody unless it's for you.